Before you continue, I wanted to ask, how did you feel when Vikas Chef and Ranveer Chef, they were licking your biryani? I mean, what was going through your mind when you saw that scene happening over there?
When I was participating in Masterchef India, I knew deep inside that, what I'm going to put on the table is going to...
How do you differentiate a pulao and a biryani?
It's one of the most difficult and the easiest question. If you see in Hyderabad, most of the restaurants are selling biryani, which is actually not biryani.
So what's the difference from here mandi and the original mandi?
So what you find here in Hyderabad, 99.9% mandi sellers are not selling authentic mandi. These days in restaurants, what they use is steamed rice. But if you want to do a really good biryani, then you have to use...
I mean, if someone wants to really learn the art of biryani, if we cannot trust YouTube, then where can they learn it from? Okay, thank you Amjad ji for joining us in my second episode of ROCH Podcast. I'm so happy to have you. So, just for the audience, can you just share something about yourself? Everyone knows you're a Biryani Man of India. So, can you just give me some background of from where you are and how did you come up, or how did people come up with that title of Biryani Man?
First of all, Rohit, thank you so much for having me here. I'm really honored that you invited me for this podcast. With regard to about me, well, I stayed, I'm originally from Hyderabad. Mm-hmm. My ancestors and all were from Hyderabad. And at a young age, I moved to Saudi Arabia when I was 20, 21 years. I was a college dropout at the time. Yeah. And I went to Saudi. I worked there for 30, 32 years. During this period, I traveled a lot, about 35, 40 countries. Worked in UK, in Lebanon, France, US, in Saudi Arabia, entire Middle East, I would say. While I was working as a strategy and business development professional, I was also working, for some time I was also involved with, working for a Saudi billionaire as his investment advisor. Okay. The entire my career has been, mostly into the corporate side, working for investments, advertising, marketing, biz dev, strategy, It revolves around those areas. Cooking is, it was my passion right from the early days. How I got into cooking was basically, we were 6 brothers and 1 sister. So my sister got married soon after she completed her grade 10. So at the time I was in school. So my mom used to quite often ask me, to tarka laga do kabhi, imli ga do, chawal ko do, I used to do the small petty jobs while my mom used to cook. And that's how I got into cooking. And later on, when after my grade 10 and grade 11 and 12, I was a full-time cook at home. When my mom is not around, I'm cooking at home. So that was a greatest passion and hobby that transformed into me right from my very early days. So when I was working in the corporate side, I was also involved in cooking. I for some time, I used to run a corporate catering business in Saudi and was operating a Indian restaurant in Saudi.
Oh, so what was the restaurant?
The restaurant was Indian restaurant where we were selling, we were serving all type of food, North Indian, South Indian, and seafood as well.
Okay.
So we
were
very
that was in Dubai?
That was in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia.
Okay. Saudi Arabia.
Yeah. And how I got into the biryani business, there's a very interesting story to this. Yeah. As I said earlier also that, it's my biryani thing is like an extramarital affair for me. If I'm not with my wife and kids, I'm cooking biryani. Right. And how I got this biryani man, people call me as biryani man. The reason is the recipe that I have is from 4 generations. So my great grandmother was a fantastic cook. I saw her when I was very young, she was very old, 100 plus. And she actually used to do very good biryani. Okay. She gave her recipe. She taught my grandmother and grandmother taught my mother. And from mother only, I'm the only kid, I'm the only child of my parents that I learned biryani. My sister didn't learn biryani. My brothers didn't learn biryani from my mother, but I was the one who learned biryani.
So you're the 4th generation.
I'm the 4th generation. The 5th is ready now. I'm transferring the data here to my the skills and information about the ingredients and recipes to my.
That's amazing. Like you hardly find any generations in terms of food recipes. Now it's getting all lost.
Yeah.
But it's very rare you see a family transferring all those recipes to the younger generation. So, if we look around the globe or within the city as well, everything is getting commercialized.
Yeah,
very
true.
There is no authenticity, I would say. It's like just one thing, it's just getting repeated. So what are your thoughts on the current situation of Hyderabad? What do you say?
See, Hyderabad is a very vibrant city. It's fantastic. The people, the culture, the mix of people that we have here, especially the Muslims, Hindus, Christians, Sikhs, and people from all around India, you will find it here. Yeah. So this is a very cosmopolitan city. It's evolving, and the F&B landscape, I would say, is evolving very fast. Yeah. So there is so much demand for cuisine, good food, quality food, and some innovations as well.
Right.
So I personally feel that when we walk into that route, on that path, we should also preserve our ancestral recipes, because that's the basis of our existence. This should exist. No, you do fusion, you do different cuisines, you can come up with some innovation, but then the authentic recipes, age-old recipes of our great grandparent should also continue. We have to pass on these to our children and to the other younger generations.
True. I truly agree on that. Only because we have those original recipes, we are able to make fusion.
Yeah.
Without original recipes, there is nothing called as
fusion.
There is
nothing, yeah. So, see, if food is part of a culture, it has a very symbolic, very elite position, I would say, in any society, in any culture. Food is one of the major factor in many cultures.
True. So coming to Masterchef. So how was your experience with Masterchef? Like, how did it start, and how did the stage receive you? Can you just share something about that?
Well, Masterchef India Telugu was a fantastic experience for me. I thoroughly enjoyed it, and how I got into this is a very interesting story. I participated in Masterchef India Hindi, sometime back, a couple of years back, and I was in top 36. My biryani was praised all over. So I received a call.
Before you continue, I wanted to ask, how did you feel when Vikas Chef and Ranveer Brar Chef, they were licking your biryani? What was going through your mind when you saw that scene happening over there?
So there is confidence thing is there, because prior to going to Masterchef India, I knew I do fantastic biryani. I knew that very well, deep inside. I'm not saying this, but my customers, whoever used to buy food from me, and most of my customers come from upper middle class and elite. There's a very small segment of people who buy from me, but they are like cream de la cream of Hyderabad. So they know what is authentic biryani, authentic Hyderabadi biryani. So now, if you see in Hyderabad, most of the restaurants are selling biryani, which is actually not biryani,
Yeah, true.
So when I was participating in Masterchef India, I knew deep inside that, what I'm going to put on the table is going to wow the judges. So if you, I'm sure you have watched that episode.
I've seen that.
So prior to going there, I mentioned that, I'll make judges lick their fingers.
उनको मेरी बिरयानी बहुत पसंद आएगी और वो अपनी उंगलियां चाटते रह जाएंगे.
So that's what exactly happened with me. That particular day, the biryani came out so well. It was so fragrant and, aromatic and tasty that, they were like, I don't have words. And when I saw my Vikas Khanna and Chef Vikas and Chef Ranveer and Chef Garima praising, like it was a wow moment for me, I was like on cloud 9 that day.
True. I still remember, when Chef Ranveer or when Vikas Khanna said, next contestant. everyone was waiting, like, what's happening over there? Like, suddenly you came up with a big handi of biryani.
Yeah.
The same thing you did in Masterchef India Telugu also.
I think I was the only contestant that did that, that feat, I would say. I was thinking, how do I have to present this? Because that was my first experience facing judges of MasterChef. And rather than taking something on a plate, I thought, like, why not I take the entire handi of 40 people? So I got that idea, like I said, like, let me walk into the MasterChef kitchen with a single empty plate. And, that was like bit shocking for the judges. And then I told the guys, when I clap, you guys should come with my handi. And that was like huge. So that was, it was like really a fantastic experience for me and for the judges. I believe, like, all of a sudden something new has happened in the MasterChef kitchen.
And even in Telugu, how did the auditions go? I mean, how did they receive our judges?
I was specifically told, what is that you want to cook? What's your favorite dish? And I said, look, I make biryani day and night. Like, that's my business. So I have a small cloud kitchen. So I have orders. I do biryani. One of my workers, they say, making biryani for bhai is like, making an omelette. So I'm over the phone and I'm done with my cooking sometimes. So I said, like, if this was well received in the previous MasterChef, then why not I repeat this time? So I requested, the Moksha and the MasterChef team that, I want to repeat the same thing. I want to cook for 40 people this time again. They said, they agreed to it. Thankful to them. They agreed to it. And then again, I did biryani for 40 people.
One thing I really, I would complain, like, no contestant got to try that.
Yeah.
Only the production team and chefs got to try it.
I haven't tasted it. A lot of people were asking me the moment I came out of the kitchen, from the MasterChef kitchen, people were asking me, can we taste your biryani? Yeah. I said, I don't know. I have to run for the photo shoot and there is something that they won't allow me to pick up that handi because it was inside. Yeah. So I don't know. And later on, people came and told me that, bhai, we didn't get a little of your biryani to taste. I said, I'm sorry. It's not in my custody. Yeah, I don't know who took it and who ate it. I don't know, but it was over in within minutes.
I mean, that's a sign of a good biryani. Like, once you open the handi, it has to be vanished.
No, that particular day, I was like literally starving, When you cook and then you are there in the kitchen after hours of cooking, I was feeling little, I was starving basically. So I thought, like, if I happen to get a chance, I'll just run back, grab something from my handi and eat it. But I didn't get it. And I didn't taste it. Honestly, I didn't taste it.
I mean, that's the sign of a good cook. Yeah. I mean, without even tasting.
I wanted to taste it, honestly. I mean, if you ask me, I wanted to taste it and I wanted to see how did it come actually. I
mean, same thing happens, at my place. Mom, she just cooks everything. She just smells okay. Salt is nice, spicy is okay. She just gives me, you try. I will not try. I know it's good. You try.
Yeah.
So, like, for me, I have to taste it, okay, and I have to see, like, okay, fine, it's fine. And every time, 9 out of 10 times, it comes perfectly.
Yeah. No, that particular when I cooked biryani, remember what did I eat for my lunch? It was like, I think I had samosa and some chai.
Yeah, I guess. Chai
that's what I ate, chai, and that's it. And I was still, in the back of my mind, it was like, it was troubling me. Like, I should have tasted my biryani.
I mean, judges said it's amazing, so that's fine. And how did the journey go? Like, about the dishes and all, what all you made?
Yeah, in MasterChef, you see, you know this very well. Like, once you are through the auditions, you get your first apron, which is without the name. So I got my first apron after my auditions where I presented my biryani. And then later on, there was another round. There were a couple of rounds where I earned my name apron. Yeah. But overall, the journey was fantastic. I really, really enjoyed it. And the best thing about the entire journey was, meeting new people. One more thing that I should appreciate myself in this case.
Okay.
My Telugu is horrible.
అందుతోనే నేను ఈ బగారా రైస్ కూడా చేయడానికి అటెంప్ట్ చేస్తున్నా.
I studied Telugu in my school till grade 10. After that, there was nobody to speak to me, communicate to me in Telugu. So 32 years I was outside. So when I came back, I got 65% marks in Telugu in grade 10.
Still okay.
That was all in hard end. And when I came back, I was struggling with my Telugu. So the best thing that happened to me in Masterchef, one of the best things was, my Telugu improved.
I mean, when you
thanks to you guys and the judges,
Yeah, I mean, from the starting till the end, Ardin
tolerating my horrible Telugu and helping me to improve as well.
It's okay. I mean, people, the audience enjoy, so it's a good thing.
I don't know. Maybe some of them are mad at me for.
It's fine. I mean, not everybody gets a chance to come on MasterChef. So
no, what gave me confidence was I knew a little bit of Telugu.
Yeah.
So I was thinking, end of the day, it's not my language test, it's my cooking test.
Exactly.
So why not give a shot? That's what I did. I said, look, the language can be managed. I might, mix up a little bit of English and Telugu and Hindi and somehow try to explain the judges. So this is what I made today. But end of the day, my dish will be just based on the taste and presentation and innovation. Those three tips thing.
Taste, innovation, presentation.
Yeah.
And that's always the case. So as you are known as the Biryani Man, I really wanted to pick your brain on biryani. So can you just tell me, what makes a biryani?
Okay, there's so many versions of biryani. When you travel to India, you will come across so many versions of biryani. I mean, every type of biryani has got some distinct, flavors, and there is some little differentiation. Like the Awadhi biryani is very popular.
Yeah.
What is done, and then when you come back to Calcutta, in Kolkata, you find a different biryani. They put aloo and all, potatoes and all goes into that. And when you come to Hyderabad, then you will see a different version of biryani. You travel down south, you will see biryanis, which are actually pulaus, but then they call it as biryani.
Okay.
A good biryani is, there are key ingredients that you use in good biryani. The quality of spices, ghee, the quality of meat, and then the skills required to do. Biryani is not that easy to make unless and until you learn certain skills to do it.
Right.
It's not a very easy thing to do unless you know the proper steps, the timing, the skills required to do that. Then you come up with a really good biryani.
Great. I mean, even people say pulao ko biryani bolte, these words are really used here and there, but how do you differentiate a pulao and a biryani? Like, what's the difference between them?
Okay, Rohit, thank you so much for asking this question. I was expecting this will come from you sooner or later. The difference between pulao and biryani is pulaos are done in absorption method.
Okay.
You make a gravy or something, and then you add rice and cover it with water and then automatically the rice. But that's the absorption method. Biryani is done on dum method, wherein you layer, first goes the meat and then 2 or 3 layers of rice, semi-cooked rice, like 30%, then 60% or 80%. That's how the biryanis are done. So this is the major difference between pulao and biryani.
I mean, I don't know, it might sound or become controversial, but I just wanted to ask, donne biryani, right?
Yeah.
So biryani is not something which is done on absorption method, but donne biryani is done on absorption method. So is it donne pulao or is it donne biryani?
I would honestly, if you ask me this, anything which is done on absorption method is pulao for me.
Okay, so
I'm very clear on that.
Okay, so
donne biryani is fantastic. I wouldn't say, all those biryanis all over India, I love them and I respect the cultural bonding to those dishes. But then an absorption method is always a pulao.
I mean, you can't change A or B.
But I don't want to change it as well. The reason why, because I'm not in that region.
Exactly.
But when I know the clear methods of making biryani, biryani is always done on dum and pulaos on absorption method. Yeah.
So when it comes to biryani preparation, what kind of tips you would say any home cook or anyone who's preparing biryani at home, what tips will you give to enhance their biryani game?
It's one of the most difficult and the easiest question.
Okay.
Now, we are in an age of technology wherein everything is in your palm.
Exactly.
Aspiring cooks or people who are interested in cooking or learning a particular cuisine or dish, they straightforward rely on YouTube.
Exactly.
Now, the YouTube is a big problem for me and for those who are aspiring to learn. Reason, you search for a small recipe and you will get hundreds and thousands of recipes people posting. Those who do videos about cooking, they themselves, most of them are not expert in cooking. Just because they want their presence on the web, they want to be there on the social media or make some money out of YouTube, they just go ahead and do some videos which are not authentic. You know, today you go and search for dosa, you will find thousands of different types of dosas.
Right.
You know, I have seen somebody doing nalli dosa.
Okay.
You know,
Yeah,
they made dosa and then adding
Right.
nalli. And I will not love such food. For me, a dosa is a dosa that it has to be authentic dosa.
Right.
The same goes with someone who wants to learn a good biryani. A good biryani is always, you should know the method, the right method of making a biryani. And there are key ingredients involved in it. Your meats, whatever you are using. For me, Hyderabadi biryani is only mutton.
So like what part of mutton do you use for biryani?
I normally use shoulder.
Okay. What is recommended?
I recommend shoulders,
Shoulder.
neck, and ribs as well.
Okay.
The thigh thing is not really good because, you know, it doesn't have fat in it, so it's more chewy type
Chewy,
of
okay.
thing. So I wouldn't recommend people using thigh meat
Right.
for biryanis. So the key ingredients for a good biryani is that first you should be very clear on the method of making a biryani.
Yeah.
Choose the right and the best quality
Can you just describe the method of the biryani? Like,
see, I what I do personally, I'll tell you, you must be knowing this. For me, the first thing that I do is when we wash the meat, we drain it, and then I add some papaya and ginger garlic paste to my meat, and I keep it for some time.
like
That is
for,
a skill.
For how much time in general?
That is a skill. It depends on the quality of meat, how tender it is, or how, you know, it depends on what's the age of the goat that you're bringing in. So it depends on that, you know, how much papaya or ginger garlic paste I will add to.
Okay.
Then I have to marinate it for some time. Then I go ahead adding my dry marination to it. So a lot of things go into it, you know. One of the key things a lot of people don't know here that in Hyderabadi biryani, there is no coriander or coriander powder.
Are
or
you
zira
serious?
powder. I'm very serious and I'm very straightforward on this.
I mean, everywhere I go, there's definitely. And you take, for example, YouTube videos.
Yeah.
The coriander means and pudina ka means is always a layer.
No, coriander and pudina leaves are there, but there is no coriander powder or dry coriander powder or
you
zira.
need to say
A
garam
lot of,
masala.
you know, almost every YouTube video that I have watched, people
Coriander powder is there.
they're adding coriander powder and zira powder, you know, cumin powder to it. It's not part of Hyderabadi biryani.
Really?
Yeah.
And
That's not Hyderabadi biryani.
That's done everywhere.
Now this is in the name of fusion, it's confusion.
Okay.
You know, the reason why the Hyderabadi biryani, people sell Hyderabadi biryani and they call it as Hyderabadi biryani. But you'll go back to their kitchens and see the people who are cooking this Hyderabadi biryani are not originally from Hyderabad.
Oh.
They are coming from a different state. I'm not against that. I'm not against that. But then it's like, you know, I'll give you a very classic example. You bring a French guy,
Okay.
all right? He watches few of these videos, YouTube videos, how to do a South Indian curry or something. And let's say beef chettinad or chicken chettinad, something, you know, any dish. And the guy watches, he has never tasted this dish before. And he learned this on YouTube. And then you ask him to come here and cook. And he cooks something for you. Do you think that is authentic?
This definitely not.
The guy doesn't know the taste. The same thing is happening with mandi here. Everybody who is cooking mandi has never tasted mandi. because you have to be in the Middle East to taste authentic mandi.
I mean, so what's the difference from here mandi and the original mandi? Like,
Original mandi is done in a pit.
okay.
The breed of goats and sheep that you find there, it's not here. They have more fat content, but here in India, and especially in Hyderabad, what we find, it doesn't have much fat content in it. And then what people are doing here is basically they boil the meat and then they fry it in a kadai and they do bagara khana, and then on that they top it up. There is nothing called juicy mandi, paneer mandi, veg mandi, fish mandi. There is nothing like that. Mandi is always done in lamb meat.
I mean, so mandi
And
is
chicken mandi is also done, and then the camel mandi is also done, which is called hashi in Arabic. Yeah.
Okay.
So what you find here in Hyderabad, 99.9% mandi sellers are not selling authentic mandi. They are selling bagara khana with some boiled meat piece, fried, and then they add this cashew nut gravy to it and they call it as juicy mandi. There is nothing called juicy mandi at all. It doesn't exist in the Arab world. The same goes with biryani. When you see authentic Hyderabadi biryani, there is nothing called coriander powder or jeera powder in it.
I mean, then how do the spices come? Like,
See, there are certain spices that we add to authentic Hyderabadi biryani, but they go as whole spices. We don't powder it.
okay.
That's one of the major reasons. So when I marinate my meats, then the dry marination goes in. All those
Can you
spices.
give some spices like?
I use cardamom, I use cloves, I use cinnamon, I use nutmeg. Again, star anise and bay leaves are not part of Hyderabadi biryani.
Okay.
Okay, and then there is some shazira in that, and we use ginger garlic paste. Lemon juice goes into it. Salt, we use rock salt.
Okay.
Or sea salt. These are the salts that we use. Ghee goes into it. Some malai goes into it. Rose petals goes into it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Malai
also.
I mean the marination.
Yeah. And then
Interesting.
very finely fried onions. Barista. So these, and then you have this green chili paste. Then fresh cardamom, fresh coriander and mint leaves also. That's the blend of both dry and wet marination. So two times I marinated.
Okay.
And then the choice of rice is very important. These days in restaurants, what they use is steamed rice. Steamed rice, they use it. But if you want to do a really good biryani, then you have to use raw basmati rice. Here comes the art of cooking rice again.
Right.
So not everybody can cook raw rice. You have to be skilled to do that. So I use raw rice in my biryani. And then the timing of how you.
I mean, can you share some tips, like if you're doing it at home?
See, if you're leaving your biryani for dum, the timing depends on the quantity of meat and rice that you have used in a handi, the size of handi. So it varies from size to size, and the quality of meat that you're using. Sometimes the meat is very tender, so you have to little overdo your rice. Like instead of putting it on a 30% boil, you just go for like 50% boil, because the meat is going to cook faster.
Right.
So if the meat cooks faster, your rice will remain uncooked. So again, it depends on situation to situation, which type of meat you are using, and your burner also is very important. The stove. You cannot go and keep a big handi on a small stove. It will never cook.
Yeah.
You cannot cook biryani for two people. Again, you keep it. आप दम पे छोड़ देंगे. For 1 hour it will never come up. The meat will never become tender. So the timing varies from size to size. Size of the handi, quality of meat, the burner size. How big the flame is. Flame is very important for doing a good biryani.
I mean, like if someone wants to really learn the art of biryani, like if we cannot trust YouTube, then where can they learn it from?
See, it's the same thing. Like, you rely on YouTube. YouTube will confuse you a lot.
Yeah, it does.
I always tell people that, don't become students of YouTube University if you really want to learn cooking. If you want to learn cooking, you don't need to learn different, you don't need to go and learn 100 many dishes of different cuisine. Master few of those, 4, 5, and that's it. You can make a lot of money, start your own commercial operation and do it. So YouTube will confuse you. Now I have given you a classic example of dried coriander powder, and every YouTube video will show you that they are adding this coriander and cumin powder into the biryani. It's not part of Hyderabadi biryani.
I mean, like even the whole we don't use the coriander.
No, whole coriander and whole zira. Only shazira we use it.
Shazira. Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Like it's been like so many years, and there's just one type of biryani we have been eating, and we know it's been called Hyderabadi biryani, but authentically speaking, it's Zamin Asman ka fark that we say.
See, it might have taken, as per my research, about 25 to 30 years back. The authentic biryani was like almost over. In this past 25, 30 years, the new version of the biryani has come into place. Why? Because there is so much influx of people from districts, from other cities. Hyderabad is a very attractive city. One can find some, some job or something to do here compared to other states. So a lot of people did migrate, and it's very good that they are here. But then when this influx also paved way for people who wanted to sell anything and everything. So those newcomers wanted to try our cuisine, Hyderabadi cuisine, but then people who were in the business of making money made anything and everything, and they sold them in the name of biryani. That shouldn't have happened. Unfortunately, it happened.
It's what we call globalization.
Yeah. So someone who is like born in say 2000 or 2010, he really doesn't know what authentic biryani is unless and until he or she tasted or it's made in their home.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, when you mentioned Hyderabadi cuisine, like, I just wonder, like, what is Hyderabadi cuisine? Like, I don't see anyone specific other than biryani or paya or, bheja fry. Like, what exactly is Hyderabadi cuisine doing for you? Like,
see, Hyderabadi cuisine is a culmination of Mughalai, Turkish, and Telugu food.
Okay.
So there was a regional influence, Telangana, Telugu, Andhra, there's a regional influence to it. Then when Mughals came in, they brought in the Persian cuisine here, the Mughalai cuisine came into it. Then for some time it was, when the Nawabs were here, they were married to Turkish families from the Ottoman Empire and all. So Turkish influence is also here. Firni, what is Firni? Firni is Turkish.
Right.
Firni is Turkish. Biryani is originally Persian. It came through North India. That's why there is a different version. Here, when it came to Hyderabad, we changed a little bit, and then, the Hyderabadi biryani came into existence. Same goes with Calcutta, or for your Chandigarh biryani or Donne biryani, whatever. When it traveled to different regions, people altered it according to their taste buds and the ingredients available in their local markets.
Right.
So we don't do like a prawn biryani or fish biryani in Hyderabad biryani. There's nothing called.
And we don't get fishes here, so
yeah, because we are not a coastal city.
Exactly.
But you go to Kerala, you will find biryani, curries, and everything. They will have fish or prawn into it because that's the easily available ingredient there.
Right. So as there's a lot of globalization happening. We see so many fusions, so many different cuisines that are coming in. They're just getting mixed and matched. So many restaurants coming up. But somewhere I feel Hyderabadi cuisine is getting disappeared. Apart from that, only few things, that biryani and paya. Can you just tell, like, what all actually is within the Hyderabadi cuisine, and what can we do as food connoisseurs to help this Hyderabadi cuisine live up to its golden era?
See, you have raised a very good concern. Cuisine, wherever you travel in the world, people actually banged on their cuisine. A very educated, sensible community should always preserve their cuisine. Because that is one of the recognitions for your place. So, what's happening in Hyderabad is there are so many dishes. If I start naming it, the list goes on and on and on and on. What we should be promoting is authentic cuisine. Today it is available still because there are people, old age people who knows, to do different type of food in a traditional manner.
Can you name some dishes?
I will tell you a few of these names. There is a dessert called Ghode.
Horse.
Yeah.
Ghode.
Ghode.
Okay.
I don't know how to do that.
Okay.
I'm looking for someone who can teach me because my mom used to do that. It's a very traditional dessert, Ghode.
Okay.
Now,
what exactly is it?
it's made up of dough. It's a sweet, mild sweet dish. It's a dessert. They add coconut pieces also into it.
Okay.
I don't know how to do that.
No, like what exactly is that? Is it?
There's a sugar added into it. There is flour in that.
It's more like a kheer.
It's something like thick, like kheer type of
Okay.
thing. So that's one of the dead desserts. These desserts should come up again. We need to revive those things. In Masterchef, I presented one dish which my mom used to do. Zarda puri with akhrot ki kheer.
Right.
Now, who does zarda puri and akhrot ki kheer here?
So that's Hyderabadi cuisine.
Yeah, that's one of the Hyderabadi cuisines that I learned from my mother.
So it's Zarda puri.
Yeah.
No, what's the full name?
It must have traveled from the Mughal.
No, what's the full name? Can you just say
Zarda puri with akhrot ki kheer.
Okay, got it.
We do kheer, different types of kheers that we do. But then there was an akhrot kheer. We do badam ki kheer. We do kaddu ki kheer. There was akhrot ki kheer as well, which I did in Masterchef. So it's a dead dish. We must revive those things. There are certain other dishes that Kabuli is not done these days. Very few people do it.
What's Kabuli?
Kabuli is another pulao like thing, which is which we do it in Muharram, in the month of Muharram.
Okay.
But very few houses today actually do real good Kabuli. We call it as kubuli also.
So it's a pulao.
It's a pulao thing, and then there is big chickpeas goes into it. That's how the Kabuli chana. That's why that's how it got this name. So there are many other dishes that now a lot of people don't do pasinde, the authentic Hyderabadi pasinde.
What's that? Pasinde?
Yeah.
What is that?
In North India they call it as pasinda. Here we call it as pasinde.
What is that exactly?
It's done with meat.
It's a rice dish or?
No, it's a curry. It's
a curry.
Yeah.
Okay.
Actually, I'm so used to saying curry, but there is nothing called curry in this world. When Brits came here, they introduced this term curry. So it's a salan basically.
Okay. So, can you just describe a bit more about that? Pasinde.
Pasinde is made out of meat.
Okay.
We use beef meat into that. Finely sliced beef meat goes into it. Phalli goes into it. Sesame seeds goes into it. Some khashkash goes into it. Onion is fried and then added to it. Those are the masalas that we use. It's slightly on a thicker side.
Okay.
So you don't find this in the restaurants. I think restaurants should promote new.
This is the first time I'm hearing. Forget about getting in the market.
Marg is not originally Hyderabadi. Marg is a Yemeni dish which was introduced in Hyderabad some 20, 25, 30 years back maybe.
Okay.
30 years back there was no marg in Hyderabadi wedding table. So when it came to Hyderabad, basically it came first to Barkas because a lot of Arabs live in Barkas area. So they introduced first marg. The original marg is different. And the marg that you find now in Hyderabad has cashew nut paste into it. That's the alternation. We call it as fusion. It's confusion for me.
I also heard this lasungi kheer. Is it Hyderabadi?
Lasungi kheer?
Lasuni kheer. They use garlic.
I haven't heard about it. Yeah.
There's some restaurant called Golconda. That's a very old restaurant. 1970s or 1950s.
Lasuni fish, I have heard about it.
Yeah. They make kheer using garlic cloves.
I don't know. I haven't tasted it.
So, when I was researching about Hyderabadi cuisine, I got multiple mentions this is one of the forgotten recipes.
There are so many which I myself do not know this. There must be so many, dishes that are forgotten. We don't know the recipes. I always look for people who know something new or something which has already died, and we need to revive it. If you happen to come across someone like this, do let me know so that
Sure.
I will travel to that place, learn that from them.
I mean, like, I still wonder, like, how can we revive, which has been lost?
It's very simple and easy. A lot of people are craving for authentic Hyderabadi food. Simple, and there are takers for it.
Okay.
I mean, today people can pay anything. The city, we are much better than other cities. I mean, financially, if you look at the economic situation of people in Hyderabad, is way too better than other states. So people are here. The buyer has the appetite. The buyer has the financial power, economic power to venture into these type of projects to revive, to buy any. The consumer today is like, cash rich.
Right.
So consumer is willing to pay. The only thing is that we need to present to them, okay, this is my offering. If we start doing that, okay, all new format, when you advertise, I have something authentic, people will come to you. At least they want to try once.
I mean, people do want to try authentic, but authentic ke naam pe, if you take not just Hyderabadi or any cuisine for that matter, which is being served in the city, it's not at all close to what authentic is supposed to mean.
So this is the confusion that is created by most of these guys who are into food and beverage business. The F&B players, they should be really very honest with their consumers, with their customers. If your product is not authentic, don't pitch it as an authentic product. But you can have an all new menu with different items. Why? Today I struggle to go to any restaurant, because when you go to any restaurant, what do I have? What are the choices that I have? Biryani, Apollo fish, chicken 65, halim,
That's standard.
dosa, thali. What else?
That's all.
That's all. So each time when I go, then the kebabs are horrible here. You can't eat those kebabs. I mean, there is so much variety of grill and barbecued items in this world, especially in the Middle East. Why not introduce those things to Hyderabad? I mean, there are people who are willing to spend money, try different cuisines. So, if you give a choice to consumers, they will try. If they like it, the product will fly.
I mean, I would really love, if you could come up with a project where, reviving all those lost recipes, come up with a menu and just have a restaurant. That would be amazing.
It's not one man's effort, Rohit. It is a very collective effort. Everybody should come forward, especially those who value culture, those who value authentic cuisine. They should come forward. If you really want to move forward with this, we have to take some baby steps first. And if these F&B players come into the market with a new offering of authentic food, I think slowly and gradually, few years down the road, authentic food will get a real recognition in this world. And I do that, some of my offerings in my cloud kitchen. My cloud kitchen is named as Paiga. It's a very aristocratic name. So at Paiga, we do few items which are very authentic, like damka chicken and damka murg, we call it, and damka bakra, dam kiran, some Uzbeki stuff we do, Mediterranean stuff, kebabs. Of course, biryani is a hot seller, and the mirchiyon ka salan. Today you go to any restaurant, they say this is mirchi ka salan. It's not mirchi ka salan.
So can you just give me one tip that will just change the whole game of making a biryani for any home cook?
I'll give you something very simple and very easy.
Okay.
First thing, remember, I'll talk related to Hyderabadi biryani,
Right.
okay?
Yes.
First thing is Hyderabadi biryani is not spicy.
Okay. Okay.
First thing, remember.
Okay.
Second thing, there is no coriander and jeera powder added to the
Authentic.
the marination. Avoid using red chili powder, first thing. Okay. What happens is, people go and use red chili powder to make biryani spicy. The damage that it does is, when you add and they go use Guntur chili, the finest, the best, the hottest Guntur chili to make biryani. That's a terrible mistake.
Okay.
One should use milder version of red chili powder in little quantities. The moment you add more chili powder, it will overpower and destroy and burn the flavors and aroma of other spices. So this is the very solid tip that I am giving. Try this, add little chili instead of adding like loads of chili powder.
So, I mean, can we use green chili paste?
You can use green chili paste, yeah.
Instead
There
of-
should be a mixture of green chili paste and red chili powder.
Okay.
Yeah. Both are important ingredients of a biryani. And one more thing, if you add more saffron, your biryani is not going to become wow. The people call zafrani biryani. How much quantity of saffron goes into biryani? A very little quantity, not even half gram of saffron. So add little saffron, not loads of saffron. Loads of saffron destroys the taste of biryani.
Right. And any technical tip, while cooking the rice or giving the dum, like any specific tip you want to share?
Okay. Particularly for the dum, the tip that I will give is that when you start to dum your biryani, first keep it on a high flame.
Okay.
Keep it on a high flame for 5 to 7 minutes. The moment you see steam oozing out from the lid, immediately lower the flame and simmer it for like 20 minutes.
Okay.
You're done with it.
I mean, like how long do we have to simmer it?
The trick is when it's on the high flame, how you will know that you have to lower the flame. Take some water, sprinkle on the lid.
Okay.
Immediately it should evaporate.
Oh.
Immediately should evaporate.
Okay.
Lower the flame. The moment you lower the flame, immediately you will see the steam gushing out, to escape. That's the right time. So lower it and just simmer it for another 20 minutes and it's done.
That's interesting because many people, they have real problem in terms of judging. Like, is it how much time should I keep it for them, or when is the right time to lower it? Just
This is applicable. This method is applicable if you're using a thick bottom, handi or something. But if your bottom is not thick, then you have to use a tawa.
right.
Otherwise it will burn the masala inside. So always use a thick bottom, aluminum or copper vessel to do your biryani. Now there is no need to add,
It's not
wheat
required.
dough and all to seal it.
Okay.
Take aluminum foil, wrap it, put your thali on that, place another stone or something, some weight on that. High flame, very high flame, and then 5 to 7 minutes you will sprinkle the water. If it evaporates, lower the flame, leave it for 20 minutes. Your biryani will come perfect.
Every time.
Yeah,
I think
that's my timing. I'm telling
Yeah.
you. I know someone who came from Pune. One of my fans, I would say. His name is Mayur. So Mayur came all the way from Pune. He said, "Sir, each time I try to do biryani, either my rice is uncooked or sometimes it's overcooked. How to do it?" I said, "So you showed him the technique.
Yeah.
5 to 7 minutes on high flame, 20 minutes on low flame. Man, you're done."
So it came perfectly.
Oh yeah, now he's very happy. He's doing very good.
I heard you are king of barbecue as well. Like you have a lot of barbecue knowledge. So I mean, I'm just out of curiosity. I see a lot of people selling barbecues and all. Like, is that really authentic barbecue?
No, I think, first thing, let me just clear the term. Barbecue is done in a smoker.
Okay.
Grill is done on charcoal flame, charcoal.
So you mean
Alright.
that shutter, the smoker?
The shutter one, the smoker, that is barbecue. So that difference. The one you're talking about, kebab,
That's
is
great.
a grill. So which is done on either on gas grill or
Grill.
on a charcoal
Charcoal,
grill.
yeah.
So grill is done, basically the kebabs are done on a griller.
Mm.
Again, a good grill will always have a good quality of meats, whatever meat you are using it. First thing, that's a primary requisite for that. The meat quality should be very good and there should be fat content It's mandatory for a good grill.
Fattest flavor.
Without fattest flavor. You bring in lean meat and want to come up with something really good kebabs, no, it will never come. So always, the ratio should be 80-20, 20% fat, 80% meat. Then your grill will come really good. Again, it's not done on a flame. If you put it on a flame, it will burn the outer layer of the meat, but inside it's still uncooked. So what you have to do is do it on a
slow flame.
Yeah, on the charcoals. Leave it for some time. Don't keep turning sides.
Okay.
Yeah? And good quality of meat, good quality of chicken, good quality of seafood, whatever you do it. Another thing, the problem with our city, in India in particular, meats are overdone. So the moisture is actually, it evaporates, it's lost. So the meats become tighter,
It's everyone's complaint, why my meat is
not soft, it's not juicy. Why? Because
juicy.
you evaporated the juice on a high flame and keeping it for so long. So don't keep it for long time over the flames or on the coal.
It's terrible. It feels like you're eating powder.
Yeah.
I just hate when people overcook meat.
Exactly. And another problem with the people who are selling grilled kebabs and all is that they are again the same thing. What they are doing, the same mistake like biryanis, adding too much red chili powder and spices. See, spices are there only for flavor. It's not for taste.
Right.
So take the required quantity. I mean, imagine if you have fever, doctor says you take this one tablet. Now you want to recover fast. What happens if you take 4 tablets?
I'm on bed.
Yeah, same thing, Extra will not make it something wow. It will destroy it. So milder spices, nicer flame, very good quality of meats make an awesome grill.
Fantastic. Who doesn't like barbecue? But
Yeah.
people should know that there is a difference between a grill and
They shouldn't rely on the YouTube university.
we can't stop that.
Yeah.
At least we can tell, what's authentic and what's not.
Exactly.
From Masterchef, what was your best dish?
I will always say it's my biryani.
Apart from the biryani, that will be the number one anytime, anywhere.
Yeah.
So you made, apart from biryani, so many dishes. So what do you think was your best dish?
I think my best dish was there are two dishes that I made which were I think personally were really very good. One is the zarda puri and akhrot ki kheer was one of my best dishes on the sweeter side. On the savory side, I think I made this fried pomfret with nuts and what do you call this? Gongura.
Gongura pachadi.
Yeah. That was also very good. Because I tasted. Yeah.
Of course, you have to taste it, right? Before you give it to the judges.
Yeah. I tasted it and it was really good. I wanted to eat the entire fish, but then,
I guess there's only
I
one
made
fish.
only one, yeah.
Okay, can you just share what you're currently doing and about your venture?
Well, currently I operate my cloud kitchen by name Paiga, and we are doing amazing there. It's a one and a half year, 1.5 year back I started Paiga. So it was a pilot project.
Okay.
So when I started, I was very new, and I wanted to test the market, test my customers as well. What is the feedback that I will get from them? So when I started it was a very humble start, and alhamdulillah, I got very good response, and today we are very much in business.
Excellent. How would you differentiate with the normal biryani which you find in the, commercially? And what's the difference between your biryani and commercially found biryanis?
There is absolutely no comparison between my biryani and the biryani which is sold by restaurants. I'm not against them. I'm not talking anything bad about them. They are doing their business. They are into it. But my biryani is entirely different. Mine is an authentic recipe. It's an heirloom recipe. And to know more about my biryani, I think one should try it at least once.
Absolutely.
Unless you try it, you won't be able to differentiate what's the difference between my biryani and the biryani which is sold in restaurants in Hyderabad.
What kind of clientele do you have? I heard there are a lot of cream people absolutely love your biryani.
Yeah. So when I started my cloud kitchen, I was very clear. My segment was very clear. I wanted to cater only to people who who understands, culture, who has some, real good information about the Hyderabadi cuisine.
Right.
So I wanted to do it for people who really value my product. So I chose a segment and I said, look, I want to target initially, I want to target the upper middle class and affluent class from good families. People who know taste, who are really, they want to try something new but original. So that's what I did. Today I have and at least I think I have 2-3 MPs who buy food from me. And I have like 4-5 MLAs. Then Amazon. I have Deloitte. Yeah. And then some big families from the aristocratic families, the Nawabs, families from Hyderabad. Some very good Breadis, Raos and Kamas, 50% of my customers are, I would say, Reddies. The big shots from IT sector, from real estate, into many businesses. So I have a name, and people also order biryani. They come from Delhi, from Dubai, from Bombay. I have a customer who travels all the way from Bombay just to pick 6 plates of biryani.
Are you serious?
Yeah. And I was telling Aman, you guys are like, I don't understand what it said. For this biryani, I don't mind spending another 10,000 just for my ticket. The guy comes and picks up the biryani.
I mean, that itself tells, the biryani is like nowhere in, like it's...
That's why, I don't want to talk high about my product. The reason is like, the reviews that you will find, it is enough, I think. The reviews that I got from Chef Ranveer, Chef Nikita, Chef Charapati, Chef Sanjay Tumma, Chef Vikas Khanna, that's enough for I think they are experts. One more thing, I always tell biryani is done only in meat, mutton. I don't call chicken biryani as biryani, honestly. So there is no way that I will say veg biryani is biryani. But then on popular demand, I was requested by Deloitte and Amazon to do veg biryani for them. I did for like 4 or 5 times, and they said, your biryani is awesome, the veg biryani. I said, I don't know, I never tasted it. He said, you never tasted your veg biryani? I said, I never tasted my veg biryani. So you should taste once. So I tasted my veg biryani, it was really good. Then I started, veg biryani, adding veg biryani into my menu. So it now sits on my menu.
And always, you get requests from customers and you suddenly, that comes into the menu.
Yeah.
Same thing for me happened. Like, I was never a cake guy. Always savory. People started asking, do one cake, and now we have a...
Sometimes we don't know our capabilities.
Exactly.
Someone comes and points out, oh, you are good in doing this. So same thing happened with veg biryani for me. We started doing veg biryani also.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask if anybody wants to learn biryani, or even not just at home, or start their own biryani ka commercial thing. Do you provide any classes or you
I am receiving so many phone calls and WhatsApp messages and emails from different people from all over, in fact, as far as US as well. So a couple of years back, like I was in the US and I was training a few chefs there, those who are commercially involved into cooking and all. Now I have so many people contacting me. They want to learn biryani just because they want to venture into the commercial business, prepare biryani on a commercial level. So I'm seriously thinking of starting a master class.
Oh,
fantastic! And I want to do this master class in Hyderabad, in other parts of India, and travel to Middle East and other parts of the world just to do my master class, specifically biryani. So I think very soon I'm coming up with that, and those who are interested in it, they can. It's going to be in person, very practical workshop. It's not an online thing.
So everything from starting
from
to
scratch till the final product, I will be showing right in front of them, and they will. I'll ask them to do it as well.
Oh.
So it's going to be like 2-day session.
Mm.
This is what initially I thought like it should be 2 day. First day I show them, second then they do it themselves. So this is what I'm thinking of doing, and very soon I think in a month's time maybe I'll be out with the promotional,
Fantastic. Like, I'm really looking forward for the masterclass.
I'll be doing it
I mean,
soon.
I would also request, other than the hands-on, also maybe a small online class for all the home cooks. Maybe a small 1 hour, 2 hour session where, we can give all those important tips and
Sure, yeah. We can look into that. Yeah,
how to, most important thing, like how to source the ingredients.
Yeah.
Like, you can just go in the market and get the meat, but do we really know it's a good meat?
Yeah.
But we should know about it, how to...
One should have an eye to it.
Yeah, exactly. So probably you can share some tips on that.
Definitely.
Or can you share some tips now, how to, especially the meat part, like how do we know that the meat is good quality?
See, when you look, if you, there are different types of meats available today. In Hyderabad, people usually prefer potla meat, which is Telangana potla.
Potla.
Yeah.
Okay.
So not everybody sells Telangana potla. So if you know someone who is selling Telangana potla, then it has to be like 1 year, 9 months, that age sheep is good. And looking at the color, it should be more pinkish in color.
Pink.
Yeah.
Okay.
It shouldn't be like dark red. When it is dark red, when you cook, it becomes like blackish. So it's not, visually not appealing. The final dish doesn't come out really good. So, and there is a Malwa also now. Malwa is coming from Maharashtra and Rajasthan. The Malwa meat is also good. And anything, if the meat is between like 800 rupees per kg with bone in, I think that is good. If it is less than that, then the quality is in question again,
I think these tips definitely will up the game.
I have some customers who buy just meat from me.
Oh, that's
Just
great.
because they say your supplier is good, send us like 5 kgs, 4 kgs, 8 kgs, and they buy and they keep it. So that's another line of business I think I should venture.
You can always start.
Yeah. No, I just do a favor for them, and I don't make anything on that. But I know it's a very serious problem. A lot of people, when they go to buy meat, they don't get a good quality meat.
I mean, they cannot even tell if it's a good
the
or not.
differentiation is again the
Because
problem.
the butcher will tell it's good.
Yeah.
But we should be in a position to tell whether it's good or not.
Yeah.
I guess probably in that online masterclass, you'll share much more.
Yes, of course, I will. That we will do it very soon. The online thing, and I have few plans to do pop-ups as well.
Fantastic.
Just let people.
Yeah, I guess, everybody can, follow you and get all those updates from your social media page.
Yeah. I will post definitely. I will start posting on it very soon. Everything is under planning now. There's so much happening these days, after we came back from Masterchef, so many plans, there's so much happening. There's so many requests and new ideas coming in from people as well.
I really wanted to have this episode with you because, especially for the biryani and Hyderabadi cuisine, because it's getting so much lost, and somewhere, we should plan or work to get it together and start highlighting those things.
Yeah.
About what those raw lost recipes, and probably we'll try to work some, few recipes.
Yeah. No, I consider as being an Hyderabadi, it's my responsibility that I should always raise a red flag when something wrong is happening to the cuisine. So one of my responsibilities is to pass on good, authentic recipes to the younger generation. People who are interested in learning those skills and those recipes, they will always come forward to, because that's the interest that will drive them to go for it. That's the reason why I always, tell people, preserve your recipes. It's your identity. Your food is your identity. So I think it's a collective responsibility.
True.
Whatever we do today, you are what you eat.
So, yeah, it was wonderful talking with you and picking your brain on so many issues and so many insights about food and all. Thank you so much for joining here.
Thank you, Rohit, for calling me. Thank you again. And it was a wonderful session. I thoroughly enjoyed, discussing so many things with you. And I wish you tons of good luck on all those ventures that you're doing. You're doing a great job promoting, good F&B practices, talking about, authentic and ethnic food. I think it's you're in the right direction. And I'm with you always, and with my other co-contestants, with the people of Hyderabad.
Yeah.
I mean, together we can do a lot of things.
Sure. And whenever I have any doubts, I'll definitely.
Sure, anytime. It would be an honor to again, get together, meet, discuss, do things, plan activities. I'm always there.
I'm really looking forward for your biryani again.
Anytime. It will be an honor for me to cook for you.
Sure.
All right? Thank you.